Hey guys, so I'll basically talk about my 3 to 4 years in the software industry, tech, and what are the mistakes that I did, and all the things that you see here, brown color. I actually made a video, and I forgot to turn on the microphone in the recording section, and I spent 15 minutes talking about these thing, explaining this, and then I figured out that oh fuck, the microphone's off. Anyways, like it doesn't matter, I can repeat. So starting with, first I'll start with the mistake I did. Like I don't want to just go about explaining everything. I think you can pretty much figure it out as well with my profile. But the mistake that I did early in my career, and I wish I wouldn't have done that, is actually spending times like building things for fun is actually really important. Number one, I did I did build things for fun. Like in between, in a span of 2 to 3 months, I would get this sudden energy to build something, and then it would eventually fade. Like it would go like this and then down, and that's fine. It happens, but in this process, actually, like what's important is like if let's say I decide to build a project, if I decide to let's say build X, right? It could be some like a something like a trading platform, for example. I don't like what I would do back then was just somehow build it like just figure out the code, figure out the back end code and everything, front end code, and just put it up, and oh wow, like I built it. Like I would not spend time learning hows and whys of the process. So like how the server is working, how ht, like at this point, like when I was building, I had no idea how https worked. I had no idea about S here. Like I knew a little bit, okay, but I just knew it made it secure, but I didn't know a lot about how it worked internally. I didn't know about much about like this protocols, like other protocols apart from this. Like so basically, like I started my career as a like directly in Web3, which is again a mistake. Directly getting into Web3, I did make a mistake, but it was also like it also helped bootstrap my career a little bit. So I spent like first 3 to 4 months learning front end only, and I realized that I was not like interested in doing front end all the time, right? So I figured out something, like I found out that Web3 is something that's picking up, and I found out about Solidity and EVM and Ethereum and blockchains and smart contracts and everything whatnot. And I spent time learning about these things, which is good. Like I at least did this. But as I got a full time job next year after my internship, I I didn't spend, as I said here, right? I didn't spend much time. Like I did got a good experience at the full time job, like my first full time job. It was actually very chill, but I was stuck just doing things what are needed for the job. I was not going deep. Like I was not going deep in whys, hows, and I was not doing much of learning here. Like I kind of stopped. Like I kind of stopped learning. I was like in this comfort zone, I would say, where I was like, okay, I have a job. I'm doing my job and I'm doing things, and I'm able to figure out things which are needed for the job. And I thought that was enough. But it's a wrong mentality to have, I feel now, because I was not learning anything apart from that. I was not reading much. Like I was not active, right? I was not actively programming. I was not learning programming. I was able to program few things. I was able to do few things here and there. I did spend time doing in that particular domain. Like for example, I did spend time learning about Solidity and all those things in Solidity and the particular language, building contracts, but nothing apart from this. Like nothing about servers, nothing about things, because I lacked that info. I didn't spend time learning those things here. And as a self-taught engineer, you need to do this. So first thing, I think if you're someone who's like starting like if you're someone who's learning programming as a self-taught, like you're teaching yourself programming, I would say there's a website called there's a few websites called teach yourself ch, something like that. You can go there and actually learn. But yeah, a lot of things that are important is first, understanding is very important, right? Build things, no problem in building projects, like build your front end, build your back end, whatever. But actually also spend time learning about whys and hows of how things happen. Go deep and don't be scared to go deep. Like I was a little scared at the time, like because I wouldn't understand, but actually it's not that complex. Like if you just spend time, all it needs is some time, right? You'll understand all the data structures, you'll understand all how systems work, how operating system works, how networking works. Spend time learning about things like, caching, whatever it is. Like, the more deep you get, the more you read, the more time you spend. Number one is learn, keep learning, right? Learn. And learn by doing things, which is again another thing. I can read all day for 2 months. Maybe I'll learn something, let's say 70%. But if I build something with it, like let's say if I learned a concept and I built a mini project. Like let's say I learned about blockchains and I built a small version of a blockchain by myself, right? I learned about IPFS. I built a small P2P decentralized file storage. These things, for example, will actually teach me like these things first will act as a proof of learning, like I actually spent time learning. And second thing is that they will kind of help you remember what you learned. Because otherwise, if you just theoretically learn like the theory and read and understand in your mind, I think it's very difficult to retain that knowledge than if you actually spend time building something, going through that process of trial and error to build and make your project work. That actually helps. So that's the mistake I did. I got good jobs, but I didn't spend much time learning and building projects. Like I would say, build more things, build small, build things, build difficult things, anything that you want to understand. I think there's a very, very, very underrated and beautiful website called Build Your Own X, right? This is actually a gem. Like you can spend time reading, and it's not just like that they will just give you the code. Okay, they will explain you in detail. Like all the blogs that they have, they will explain you in detail about how things actually work. For example, build your own neural network, right? You can spend time reading that. So I would say spend time learning about things in detail, go in deep, learn a little bit math here and there if needed, learn whatever is needed. That's what I wish I would have done at least. Not sure if you would want to take that as an advice, because I don't know. But still, if I had time, I would do the same thing. Why? Because number one, like I like you must be good at what you do, right? For example, if you're doing something, like you must always strive to be good at it, and you do it by enjoying it and learning things, understanding it, doing making projects. Don't do it for the sake of anything, but just for the purpose of learning and understanding. uh, and that's something I was not able to do here. But yeah, overall, I'm currently just building things for fun. I'm trying to get there where just I'm just having fun. Like I'm building things with few friends here and there. I don't care like if I bake something useful or not. If it's something that helps me understand something, or if it's something that I'm using myself, I think it's actually a good thing to build.